Okay, and we're back. So I've got my needle in here and we're just going to start sewing down the leg. Reverse stitch. Here's where you have to turn the sock around to make it kind of round, right? There we go. Needle up. Perfect. So that's one leg sewn. This is where the scissors come in handy. Just do a little snip. And now we're going to do the other leg. Okay, make sure you line it up on your chalk line, highlighter line. And remember, it's I did the 4th ridge over, so it's kind of nice and easy to have a guide there as well when you do the ridges on the socks. Okay. Around a little bit. And you know what? It doesn't have to be perfect. Every single sock monkey has their own little character, don't they? There we go. That up. There we are. Okay. Don't worry about all these extra little threads and stuff that are hanging over because they can just be tucked inside out from your sock monkey. Any scrap materials, if you have any, which I don't have any scrap materials left over, I include them in the stuffing in the sock. So now that you can see, I've got my line sewn for the legs. So right down the middle here, I'm just going to make a cut, okay? Because we need a spot to be able to put our stuffing into. And also to be able to turn it inside out. All you need is a little hole, because once you get here, the hole becomes big anyway. Alright, then you're going to turn, see, there's a body. So you're going to turn the sock monkey inside out. And let me just grab a pencil here, because that might help a little bit. We put the pencil in here. Pull the material up around the pencil. So we're going to go to the bottom of where the hole is, right below the heel of the sock. There we are. And then we can pull the body out. I love making sock monkeys. Alright, and then we can do the same now that the body is turned the right way around. Maybe we can do the same with the legs here. And I'm using the eraser end of the pencil to get some material down in through here. Maybe. we have the body of our sock monkey. See, he's kind of taken shape already. So this is where you're going to stuff his body, okay? But we're going to wait for the stuffing later. So we'll go throw this right here. And we're going to do the other body parts that we need to do for the monkey. So now we have this other sock. Remember, it's folded in half, that the heel is halfway there. Okay. So, because his arms are the same as his legs, we're going to use the exact same spot for his arms. Okay, so basically, his arms are going to be exactly the same. So we can do a cut right here. I'm going to do right here, just so it's a guideline for us. Okay, and same over. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the fourth line. Because I'm going to have my legs the same width as my arms. One, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you can see that in the video here, but I can see my highlighted lines. And once you do them a lot, you won't even need to use this highlighter or marker anymore. You'll just be able to do it freehand. Okay? This here is the nose. And this is always the hardest bit to put onto the monkey. Okay, so we're gonna cut right across here. So we have the material for the nose. Okay? So then we've got one section, two sections. This section here, we're going to make the tail. And I always like to put a little bit of a curve in my tail so we get the little point. So what we're going to do from this line where we're going to cut it eventually is we're going to do the tail. So however wide you want it, but don't forget we got to add the ears. So just about halfway through. So we're going to sew your tail line. And right when you get to the foot of the sock, I bring it around and curve it in. If you can see that. See, it comes around here. Now, we need the ears. So I like big ears on my sock monkey. Some people like small ears. But anyway, let's make them a little semi-symmetrical. Okay, and definitely like to draw my ears out. There's one ear. And 2 ears. Perfect. So you want to make sure though when you're sewing that you're not sewing the same line as your tail. Okay, so make your ears slightly under where your tail line is. Okay, there we are. So this was the tail. Here's the ears, here's the nose, and here are the legs. So let's start sewing that together. Start with the legs. A big person in the house that actually knows how to use one and you have one, maybe they'll help do the sewing for you. Just make sure that when you're getting to the end of the leg or the foot or the arm, the hand, is to make sure that the 2 pieces are together so you don't have a hole. But I have done that before, not the end of the world. All you need to do is, at the end, get a needle and thread and sew it up by hand. Not a big deal. This one might actually have a hole. Okay. not going to cut here yet, okay, because it's easier to sew when there's got like a solid piece here. All right, so let's do the tail. Let's get that sock under here. Now remember, that line above the top of the tail is where we're cutting, not sewing. So we're just sewing straight down from where we've made our space between the heel, okay, and the ears. We're just going to sew down the middle. So I'm hitting the red part of the toe, and here's where I start to curl my sewing machine, and so I have a nice curly tail. There we go. Oh, that looks like it's going to be a good one. There we are. Perfect. And now we're just going to sew the ears. I always like to use thread that I can actually see, but if you want to use gray thread on a gray sock, go ahead, but I like a brighter one. It's easier to tell where my lines are. And you're not going to see it anyway. See, when it's all sewed up and stitched up, you're not going to see. Now my ears. Now the trick with the ears is you got to remember to leave a small space so you can stuff them, okay? So when I do my ears and cut them, I'm actually not going to start right at the base. I'm just going to bring it up about ½ inch. Okay, put my foot down there. Reinforce it. So we're going to have to re-sew that by hand after it's being stuffed. Side of it, then you can bring it all the way down to the base of the sock. We just need the one small hole opening. Okay, see, so when I started to sew, I didn't start here, I started here. So I'm sewing around for the ear to the end there, okay? So let's do the same for the other ear. Bring it in about ½ inch. And remember, I'm a little close. You have to make sure you leave yourself enough space between the ears and the tail when you're sewing, because you're going to have to get the scissors in there to cut them apart. That ear might be a little bit bigger, but I love having fun, wonky, different size ears on my monkey. All right, there we go. So, believe it or not, we are now done with the sewing machine. Isn't that great? Okay, so, first of all, let's cut the nose out, okay? So, the green line the line that you had up here for the legs, we're just going to cut across there. And, oh, you know what I forgot to do? I lied. We need to come all the way up here for the tail. But that's okay. I'm going to quickly do that now. That's a quick, easy fix. Now I'm done. Because then it's an extra long tail, right? There we go. Now it's an extra long tail. I just added that extension there because all we need is this much material. Make sure you keep that colored heel. Okay? So when you cut your heel out, there we go. And that's going to be his nose that we just have to sew on. Okay? Okay, so now let's cut the tail off. And I've cut really close between my stitching. There we go. Better. So just follow the stitching all the way around. There we go. Okay, the ears. We're just going to cut through there. So I have a bit of excess here, so we'll just go ahead and snip that off. Okay, and you know what? You can just use it as your stuffing for the tail. And the legs. We got to separate our legs. Right up the middle there. Okay, so let's just use the pencil trick and turn them inside. Okay, now that we've got all our body parts turned in the right way out, okay, tail, arms, his nose, and his ears, okay, see the little hole that we have now. Now we grab stuffing and we start stuffing all the body parts. Okay, so I'll leave you to that, and the scrap piece of material that we have left over, I'm just going to go ahead and throw it in the body along with my stuffing, and I'll be right back once everything's stuffed. Okay, hi, welcome back. We are now in the next stage of our sock monkey making. So hopefully you've all got all your body parts stuffed. What I didn't go over with you is what to use for stuffing. So you can always go to a sewing shop and get quilt batten. That's great for it. My case, I kind of ran out of that. I got an old pillow and started stuffing it with that stuffing. And I also have in the past substituted when I've desperate need and I just need a little bit more stuffing, I used cotton balls. And then I just kind of like pull them apart a little bit and make them nice and fluffy like I did here because I just kind of ran out, so I just used cotton balls and I'm going to stuff my nose with the cotton balls. Okay, so once you've got all your body parts all stuffed, we're going to just sew up the ends. Okay, so make it look like that. And the easiest way to do that is I push the stuffing down, fold the sides over, and tuck the outer edges inside, like so, so you don't see all the frayed edges. Okay. I put the thread in my needle and I put it together and I tied a knot in the end. That helps keep it in place, because if you don't have a knot in the end, nowhere for it to hang on to once you put it through the material. And don't pull too tight or that knot will come through the material. And we can always trim the ends if necessary when we're all done. And then you're just going to do an in and out motion and catch the inside fold over pieces. Okay, do that again. Doesn't have to be perfect. I just like to get these sewed up before I actually sew the body parts onto my monkey. So then we'll just finish that one off there. There we go. And to make a little tiny knot at the end so it doesn't come apart. Ta-da! and snip it off. Okay? So you've had like lots of long thread here. You're going to tie another knot now at the end you just cut off. And maybe just get an adult to help you do that if you're having problems doing that. Okay. So when that's done, okay, we can start sewing the body parts onto the body. So you can just figure out kind of where you want to go. You're also going to sew up the hole, which I've already pre-done. Sometimes the sock frays a little bit, so stitch all that up. Now I used a white thread to do that so I can actually see it. You can use like the black thread and then you won't see it, but what I've done was when I used the white thread to stitch all that up, I just got a permanent black marker and I just dabbed all the white bits of thread and you don't even see it, so that's a good little trick too. So I'm going to go ahead, this is my arm, kind of put it kind of where you think you want to on your monkey, and you have to roll the monkey over and sew the tail on there. So basically what you're going to do, find the best spot. How do you want your tail to look? I think I'm going to put it like that. Okay. Go ahead and put the needle in through the body part and then through the sock part. Okay, and then pull that down, body and sock. And again, you can get an adult to help you do that. So I'll let you finish doing that. We'll get all our body parts on, and we'll come back, and I'll show you how to sew the nose on, okay? Oh, don't forget the ears. Flip them back over here, and just put the ears wherever you want them. You can put them low, you can put them nice and high, okay? Every monkey's going to be different. All right, see you shortly. Okay, all right, so does everybody get all their body parts all put on? Okay, just like that. Here's my ears. It's got a bit of a pointed head. That's okay. So now we're just going to work on the nose. Okay, so we're going to get our piece of material. That's our nose. Okay, and you can see opened up where you're going to want it, right? Perfect. So this top section here is what we're going to do. Is we're now going to flip it over. Okay. And then we're going to put your needle in, because I've got a nice long thread here, okay, that's also doubled up with a knot in the end. Let's get that nice and even here, okay. You can just fold it over to make sure that's in the right place, okay. It all depends on where you want your eyes, right? But I think that looks pretty good there. So let's flip that back over. Centered. And just start sewing. So you're going to just sew underneath the red note part here, okay, for the seam. And this is the stitching I'm doing. Just a nice easy stitch, straight across. And they're big too. Okay. So I've started in here, I still have those little bit of ends to do, but that's okay. And so when you fold it over, see, there we go. You've got that little pocket, okay? So what we're going to do here is now we just want to tuck this end in a little bit, okay? And then we're going to stitch that end into place. This is the tricky part. So this is where an adult or somebody that's more experienced in sewing can help out a bit. But like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. then we need to tuck that in again here. There we go. And now remember, we still want that pocket to be able to stuff it. So now you're going to grab this piece and tuck it under. This is the little bit of a tricky part because now you want to hide your stitch. And always move your monkey around to where it's easier for you to sew. Okay, so we're just going to tuck the edge underneath. Get an extra stitch in the corner here. And again, I'm still using my white thread. And if any pieces of thread are showing, that's okay. Remember my trick about getting that black marker out. You just pull from underneath the body of the sock monkey and into the mouth, underneath. So you're kind of hiding that stitch. Okay, and remember, we're not going to sew him all the way up because we still have to stuff the nose, right? There we go. So we're going to leave that like that so we actually have a hole so we can start stuffing. Okay? So here's my cotton balls that I've kind of pulled apart, and I'm just going to stick them in the nose. It's easier to do the small bits and pieces at a time, not shove the whole thing in, so that way you can actually shape his nose. Okay? Oh, and you know what? I think I'm going to get one more here. A couple more anyway. There. Oh, that's great. And then you can like shape his nose a little bit more, but you know what? I'm going to have another one. As you can see, I like big fat noses on my little sock monkeys. There. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. Alright, I think I've pretty much got enough in there. There we go. So now you can see on the side here, we've got the opening. We're going to try to pull that little bit of excess material out here. His nose, there we go. So it's all stuffed in there. Okay. And then we're going to close them up. So don't forget to tuck underneath. Tuck that. There we go. So I hope everybody collected stuff for their eyes, what they'd like to use. Remember last time I told you at the beginning, I used embroidery thread to sew eyes on here. This one here, I had the embroidery thread to sew the mouth. But I just found some cute pink buttons for this one. You can always maybe hot glue gun googly eyes. You just have to remember your environment. So you want to make sure that maybe pets can't get at it if it's going to be for a pet. Like this one here, I made this one actually for my cat. Doesn't play with it much, but there we go. And to finish this off, do the same. We're going to just tuck underneath here, and then we're going to loop. Let's try that again. Loop the thread through the rabbit hole there, and that'll make a little knot. I can do one more. You can do this if you're a really good sewer. tuck it in underneath, but what I'm going to do is just grab the scissors chop off the little extra, grab my little black marker, because you can't see the black on the dark gray, and there we go. Oh, look, little white line for my ears. There we go. Oops, little white line there on my arm. Alright, there we have it. So you've pretty much got your sock monkey almost done, and now, let's do this. Let's do this now. There we go. Now you can't see my white thread. Eyes. What am I going to use for eyes? So I did have what I found, because it's Valentine's Day, I found a heart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place the heart here. If you followed my video on the the puppy dog Valentine's Day box, I'm inspired by that, because the puppy has a heart over his eye. So I think I'm going to put one eye like that, and then I'm going to put one eye like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly sew that on, and then I'll just show you my finished product. I'll let you sew your nose on in the meantime. Alright, so there we have it. I have sewed on my buttons for his eyes, and I have got the embroidery thread, and I've actually made his mouth. You can go ahead and use felt, even a felt strip for the mouth if that's easier for you. You can always glue it on. You can make hats for your sock monkeys, little dresses, pantsuits, whatever you like. Go wild. But you know what? I would love to see your sock monkey. So if you could actually share it on our Facebook page on how you did yours, I would love, 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 love to see them. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.